Welcome back to the Oddity Shop, you little oddballs. I'm your curator, Kara, with my wonderful best friend, curator, Zachary. And this is the podcast where we
tell you creepy, odd, weird, strange, bizarre stories from around the globe.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful, because even though you're making fun of me for my TikTok purchase, I'm very excited about it.
I didn't really make fun of you. I'm just laughing at you.
I did. Okay, so Saturday night, I had a few too many beers, and I went on the TikTok shop, and now I have a bumper magnet coming that says, "Stop honking, I'm crying to the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald," and it has Lightfoot's face on it, and I'm so excited. But
I'm happy for you.
But that's not also the most exciting thing that's coming for my car, because I got confirmed details today that when I'm on the other side of the state next weekend, I can pick up the Oddity Shop podcast decals and QR codes for my car, so I'm going to be looking real official.
I'm excited to see them.
I'm excited to see them too. So thank you, Danny and Missy, for doing that for us. And even though I've offered like 19 times, they won't let me pay. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I want to see how yours looks. Not that I think it's going to look bad, and then I'm going to depend on if I want to put it on mine or not.
Also, with that being said, if anybody has any sort of vinyl needs around the Metro Detroit area, Detroit Vinyl Wrap.
Shout out to our friends. Ooh, also, Danny and Missy, we're waiting. What are we doing? An investigation? What are we doing?
We got to figure it out. Get at us, guys.
Let's go. Lego.
Let's go. Okay. You know what I'm waiting for, though? Also, we're 5 weeks ahead when we record, so it might be here by the time this comes out, but I am so excited for 3i Atlas. I don't know what it is. It's some sort of interstellar object that's hurtling, like, towards our solar system, but it's also going to go past us and Mars. And I am convinced my daily manifestations send my little beep boops to the motherships. They're coming to bring me home. I'm going.
Well, if I get picked up first, I'll make them stop and get you. If you get picked up first.
There's no way. There is no way in hell if the aliens come here, they're getting you before me.
What are you talking about?
I'm obviously the aliens' favorite.
That is not even true. I talk about them all the time, and I've seen them before.
I've also seen them.
No, they came right over my house. I think I was just too young to go.
And they passed you by. They're like, "We're looking for Zach."
No, you're younger.
That's why they like me more. More fresh.
Idiot.
Oh my God. All right, we need to figure out our Halloween plans. It's getting darn close.
I already told you I took off that whole entire weekend, and I'm just waiting. And you're like, we probably can't find anything to do now.
Well, we probably can't find like an investigation to go on.
We probably can't find anything to do now. So okay, then
I was talking about one specific thing. There's still plenty we could find to do.
What should we dress up as? Do you think you and I should dress up together as something? You always say no.
No, I've never said no. I've just had other people because I was dating
right. You're
them.
like, oh, I'm dressing up with this person. Oh my God.
We could do a group. Should we open it up?
I didn't say a group. I said you and me.
Oh, well, like a group costume, like a you and me costume. Okay, listeners, what should me and Kara be for Halloween?
Here's my only stipulation. I do like to be something that's like dead and creepy. Or blood.
You are always dead and creepy to me, so.
Thank you. I actually take that as a compliment. Very much so.
Yes, comment all over what you think we should be for Halloween. We'll do a duo, not a group costume, but yes. Oh
then
my
we have
God.
to find
You're
people
just
that we're going to hang out with.
Let's open the shop, damn it. Are you ready for a question?
Sure.
So, you know how you called Delilah your child?
Excuse you?
How was that process for you?
First off, she is my child.
Right. So do you believe that you gave birth to her?
Yeah.
Where did she come from?
She came right out of my little vagina.
So millennials have a way of saying that they birthed their children. And when I was a kid, my mom always said that she wanted puppies, but somehow she got kids. So I have a story for all y'all millennials who think you birthed your children. I have the story for you, Denise, on how you thought you could get puppies instead of humans. All right. So we are going...
Hold on. Can we just be clear?
To the woman who may have lived the millennial dream.
She birthed puppies?
No,
Hold on. No. Let's be clear. I don't actually think that I birthed Delilah, but Delilah is so perfectly me and Aaron that it's crazy that I didn't. And every now and then I do cry over the fact that I took her away from her mother.
Yeah, her mom's probably still looking for her.
No, I think she was a bad mom. I met her.
Called CPS right on her.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay.
All right. Sorry. Let's go on.
So, in 1726, King George I of England hears about a strange occurrence.
1726?
1726. We're going way back. Okay. This strange occurrence is of a woman named Mary Toft of Godalming near Surrey, who had apparently given birth to several rabbits. Now, before we go down this
rabbit hole, is that where that came from?
No, but there's going to be more puns. I'm sorry. Let's dive into the story of who Mary was. So Mary Toft was born February 21st, 1702 in Surrey, England, about 40 miles from London. She was born Mary Denyer. She was poor. She was illiterate. And in fact, Godalming was like one of the poorest areas there was in England at the time.
Okay. I just have to get this out of my brain. Abraham Lincoln's wife that he married, wasn't her name Mary? Was it Mary Toft?
Toft, T-O-F-T.
Okay, I know. I just had to get it out of my head or I would keep thinking about it. Thank you.
Okay, so at the age of 18, she marries Joshua Toft. Okay. And as they did in these times, they quickly had 2 children.
Okay.
When she wasn't raising children, she was walking 2 hours each way to labor daily in a hop field. She really didn't live a very glamorous life by any means.
Okay.
But in 1726, she finds herself pregnant again. This was in August, and she was continued to do the grueling work throughout her pregnancy, which isn't the best thing to do for pregnant women, and she suffers a miscarriage. Prior to the miscarriage, she complained about painful complications.
You probably should have put a warning.
Okay, this does deal very heavily with the notion of miscarriage as well as pregnancy and maybe delusion. If that is sensitive to you, might be a good time to pop out.
Thank you.
About the time of her miscarriage, she had delivered several fleshy lumps, which a lot of people today believe was probably due to the fact that there was some sort of malformation in the placenta.
Okay.
This poor woman. I mean, she's just not had a great life so far.
No, not that.
However, and more bizarrely, about a month later, on September 27th, 1726, she does go into labor.
Wait, that's weird because today's September 25th. Very close.
Very close. And a lot of people claim that even after the reported miscarriage, she still looked really pregnant during this entire time. So she goes into labor, and somebody called for her neighbor to help deliver the child.
I'm sorry, how far along do we know at that point?
Well, so in August, she had the miscarriage.
Okay.
September, all of a sudden now she goes into labor.
Okay.
We don't know how far along she was, but she was showing visible signs of pregnancy.
Poor thing.
So the neighbor comes over to help deliver the child, and it was then that they realized she was not having a human child at all. Instead of a human being delivered, the neighbor watched and assisted while Mary produced several animal parts. So the neighbor calls Mary's mother-in-law, Anne, who had been sort of a...
Zachary's face.
This one, I'm sorry. This is...
I did get a warning at the top of the episode that this was gross.
We're putting the odd in the oddity shop. This one's a little bit gross. It just...
This is not where I thought gross. I thought boogers or something. I don't know.
So the neighbor calls Mary's mother-in-law, Anne. Anne had sort of been like an unofficial midwife in the area, basically because she mothered 12 children.
And she was probably just available.
Yeah. So Anne was pretty confused by the delivery, deems it appropriate to involve a gentleman named John Howard.
Who the fuck is he?
John Howard was a Guildford-based, so
he's just a man.
Town. No. Actually, it's a hyphenated. He is a man-midwife. He's a man-midwife with 30 years of experience in the field.
Oh, but because he's a man, we need him.
It was just that he was just a very experienced midwife. I just love that every article I found called him a man-midwife.
I like it.
So Anne tells him about what has been produced by Mary's body, And Howard immediately dismisses it as even being possible.
I'm sorry. Can I ask, are there like, when we're saying animal parts,
Hold on.
please elaborate.
I will.
Okay, good.
So he dismisses the notion that this was possible. That is until Anne shows him the parts that had come from Mary. If I could have finished that literal sentence.
Sorry. I couldn't stop thinking about what parts.
John Howard decides to come out the next day to meet with Mary and examine the parts. Okay. While he's there, she goes into labor again.
First off, is Mary okay at this point? Like, what is she just...
She's in constant labor.
Okay,
so she appears to give birth to several more animal parts with Mr. Howard present. He notes that, and this is a quote, delivered 3 legs of a cat of a tabby color, 1 leg of a rabbit. The guts were as a cat's, and in them were pieces of backbone of an eel. The cat's feet, supposed, were formed in her imagination from a cat she was fond of that slept on the bed at night.
Say that imagination part to me again.
The cat's feet, supposed, were formed in her imagination from a cat that she was fond of that slept on her bed at night. We'll get more into this later, but the leading medical explanation for this of the day was that if something traumatized you or you were infatuated with when you were pregnant, you might produce that instead of a human. This is the 1700s. Kara, I wish you guys could see her face. She just looks so confused.
Well, I'm not confused. I'm just thinking about, so we're saying that the cat legs, obviously tabby color, like we're talking fur and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that this woman is just shoving this shit up her vagina.
Well, that would be a very reasonable explanation. However,
and then just pushing it out. I don't know.
Howard decides he must continue to investigate this strange phenomenon. And over the next month, recorded that she began to produce a rabbit's head, more legs of a cat. And in one single day, she gives birth to 9 dead baby rabbits.
Okay. Is this woman under surveillance?
You just need to hold your horses.
I cannot. You know this.
So Howard he's just completely entranced by whatever's happening. And he decides the story needs to be heard because he needs help investigating it.
Yeah.
And more importantly, why instead of the what is happening. So he writes letters to anyone and everyone. So he writes to England's most revered doctors, top scientists, as well as the secretary of King George I. Mary kind of becomes a sort of local celebrity due to what's happening to her, and she's moved from Godalming to Guildford.
Okay.
This is where John's business is.
Okay.
And the strange deliveries just keep coming. She just keeps going into labor. John would respond to those interests. And now remember, he is a experienced man-midwife.
Right.
So he's seen people give birth before, and he is completely on board with whatever's happening.
Baffled.
So he responds to those interested in his letters to come to Guildford and witness the deliveries themselves.
Oh my God. Did she consent to this?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So the king, remember, he wrote to the secretary of the king. So the king gets really curious about this. And on November 4th, a member of his court named Henry Davenant is sent to see for himself what's happening. This is basically due because Howard won't stop sending letters. So one of the ones he actually wrote to Henry that made him come out said, "Sir, since I wrote to you, I have taken or delivered the poor woman of 3 more rabbits. All 3 half grown, one of them a dun rabbit. The last leapt 23 hours in the uterus before it died. As soon as the 11th rabbit was taken away, up leapt the 12th rabbit, which is now leaping. Leaping just, I think, means it's in utero. If you have any curious person that is pleased to come post, may see another leap in her uterus, and shall take it from her if he pleases, which shall be a great satisfaction to the curious. If she had been with child, she has but 10 days more to go, so I do not know how many rabbits may be behind. I have brought the woman to Guildford for better convenience. I am, sir, your humble servant, John Howard."
Is she under surveillance?
Yes, by John Howard.
But like for 24 hours?
Okay, so Davenant, he comes out, he examines the samples that Howard had collected, because, by the way, each birth, Howard would take what was delivered and put them in jars and keep them for like future studying. I'm like telling you, this is like the original Oddity. I love it. Davenant, after examining these and witnessing a birth, returns to London a full believer and sends a report to the king.
Okay. Let me just backtrack for 1 second.
Okay.
So, original midwife sees her deliver cat parts or cat legs, whatever
Cat
it was.
parts and rabbit parts and a bone of an eel.
And an eel. Calls this guy. Cool. Now we have multiple births of multiple animals.
Mostly rabbits.
I don't know. I'm not trusting this guy. I don't know.
He convinces, though, this guy who is around the king. Okay,
Yeah.
So King George I then decides it's time to send in his doctors because he's definitely at this point, I told you it wasn't my last pun, curious George. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So he sends 2 noblemen, Nathaniel St. Andre, who is a Swiss surgeon anatomist, and Samuel Molyneux. He is the Prince of Wales' secretary. They arrive on November 15th, and they're immediately taken by Howard to see Mary Toft. Within hours, she delivers a rabbit torso.
Where's her husband?
He's busy,
Okay.
but he's around.
Okay.
St. Andre, the surgeon, the Swiss surgeon sent by the king, accounts details of his examination of the rabbit. To check if it had breathed air, he placed a piece of its lung in water to see if it would float, which it did. Andre then performed a medical examination on Toft. He concluded that there is no way these things formed in her uterus. However, instead, he concludes that because the uterus can only produce people, that they must have been bred in her fallopian tubes.
Okay.
While these 2 men are there, she gives birth to several more rabbits.
Jesus.
And they continue testing and determine that it is coming from the tubes, and that something supernatural was taking place, causing the birth. Hey, Kara, have you ever wanted to take your spiritual practice to the next level?
Oh, absolutely. And if you're looking for something that feels truly magical and not mass produced, you have to check out My Mystical Forest.
My Mystical Forest is like stepping into your own enchanted sanctuary. They offer handmade spiritual tools crafted with care, intention, and so much heart.
We're talking tarot card holders that make your readings feel elevated, pendulum boards that bring clarity, and spirit boards to deepen your connection.
And don't forget the incense burners to set the perfect vibe, plus crystal trays to arrange and organize all your favorite stones. Everything is a labor of love made from hand-selected hardwoods.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual practitioner or just starting your journey, My Mystical Forest has the tools to empower and inspire.
Unlock the magic for yourself and seek harmony. Visit mymysticalforest.etsy.com. That's M-I Mystical Forest, and find the heirloom quality pieces that speak to your soul.
Also, for our little oddballs, for a limited time, enter code ODDBALL at checkout to receive 10% off plus a free pendulum, or simply use the link down in the show notes.
Goodbye.
Do you know, because we keep saying giving birth, are we saying that she's like having contractions the whole
Yes, she is
giving
going
birth?
into labor.
And she's been doing this
Since September.
plethora of times.
Yes.
Okay.
So, upon examination of the 15th dead rabbit, they looked inside its stomach, which contained hay and grass. Also, the rabbits seemed to be of different ages. But St. Andre, he was just thrilled by the possibility that this could be true, so he explained things away, reasoning that the rabbits were delivered dead, and in some cases in pieces, because of the contractions of labor.
Because nothing has been living at this point. It's just all been pieces,
because her
or
contractions are killing them and cutting them into pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. So he decides it's time to head back to the king, and he takes one of the pickled rabbits with him. And I did not come up with the term pickled rabbits. That was literally in one of these articles.
That is disturbing.
St. Andre takes the story back, or the rabbit back to London, and the story explodes. This is mostly due to him starting to print pamphlets about the phenomenon, because he is just fully believing what's happening.
Are we making money off of this at this point?
Mary Toft might be making a little bit of coin.
Okay. Which, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because if I'm giving multiple births in multiple months, hell, give me the coin.
Well, so she starts to make coin about this time because the story explodes, and now people want to come and see this. So the king sends another doctor. This time it's a German surgeon, and his name is Seratius Ehlers.
Ooh.
He arrives on November 20th and found her to still be exhibiting signs of pregnancy, enlarged stomach, all sorts of things, right? Like you would normally see a woman who is pregnant. He did find it odd, though, that Howard wouldn't let him help in the deliveries that he was allowed to witness, but he was told it was because he was a surgeon and not a man-midwife.
So he couldn't even be in the room?
He could be in the room. He was allowed to see them, but he wasn't allowed to assist. They did let him assist one time, and Mary showed signs of intense pain. So they're like, you're doing it wrong. You're not a man-midwife. Back off.
You're not a man-wife.
They did let him take some of the specimens, though, back to London. However, Ehlers was very suspicious of this, noting that the animal parts appeared to be cut with man-made instruments and that their stomach contents and droppings contained hay and straw.
Y'all.
Nathaniel St. Andre and John Howard did not like that this German surgeon was scrutinizing them by any means. So Howard requests that he gets his specimens back the very next day, and the king starts to get a little weirded out here, though. So he sends St. Andre and a colleague back to Mary.
Okay.
Upon their arrival, Howard tells them that she had given birth to yet 2 more rabbits and several more portions of what appeared to be more of the placenta. Now, Mary at this time, she's starting to look a little bit ill, and she's suffering from constant pain in her abdomen.
Oh.
Right.
If we were to believe this is true, yeah.
Yeah. So to get ahead of any suspicion, because of what Ehlers is now saying, they decide to produce more pamphlets and collect affidavits from all the witnesses who were getting to see these births to prove what was going on. So now what we know is, in Guildford, where Mary is, they're letting other people witness these deliveries. And then they're taking their stories and saying, here's proof. People are seeing this happen.
I enjoy that we're just making pamphlets to make a fucking pamphlet.
Right. The story goes bonkers, Kara. It travels not only throughout, like, her area in London, it is basically the entire English countryside, okay?
I mean, how could it not be, though? Like, let's get real. This is crazy. If we were to believe that this is true, and this poor woman is not only just gone to labor multiple times and given birth to multiple times in a short span of time, that alone is wild. But then we're also to believe that she's producing mostly rabbits, dead ones, but they also have hay in their
So listen, people stop eating rabbits.
Because they think they're coming from her?
Well, not because they think they're coming from her, but if something supernatural is going on, and this is old-timey England, if this is like from God, they don't want to...
If I eat a rabbit, I might birth more.
Oh my God, yeah, get traumatized by one rabbit. That's all you give birth to.
Let's be real. This is actually really funny talking about it. But in 26, that theory isn't really that stupid. To think that, like, if I eat a rabbit, I could then potentially, like, birth more or whatever.
So they weren't not eating them because they thought they would birth them. It was almost like an immaculate conception. They thought maybe because something supernatural, this was like something from God.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like that, just either way, that thought process isn't really that crazy for that time.
Plus, in the early 1700s was the first time we had a growing rise in the interest of oddities and monstrosities.
Really?
And people, so this is where like oddity cabinets came around.
Yeah, I guess so.
So people were willing to pay good money to see these things happen.
Birthed rabbits.
Mm-hmm. So Toft and Howard were making like pretty decent money. Now, our boy John Hervey comes into play here. And John is the savior of this story. He's a political writer. And he writes, "Every creature in town, both men and women, have been to see and feel her. The perpetual emotions, noises and rumblings in her belly are something prodigious. All the eminent physicians, surgeons, and man-midwives in London are there day and night to watch her next production."
This is so fucking disturbing, just that.
Another doctor comes to visit her. His name is Sir Richard Manningham, and he's from Upper Society, London. And while visiting with Mary, she appears to give birth to a hog's bladder.
How do we know it's a hog's bladder?
I don't know.
Okay.
But I do know that Manningham was not convinced. But he was told by St. Andre and Howard to just keep quiet on his beliefs because he could not prove that there was fraud. And until he could prove there was fraud...
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. It seems like at this point, St. Andre is starting to have some doubts that this might be a real phenomenon, but he wants to save his reputation. Remember, he was like a royal doctor sent by the king. So Mary decides she's going to give the explanation for what's happening. And this, I already kind of alluded to this, but this is her explanation. So Mary Toft's explanation for her strange birth was that in April 1726, she had been working in the field and had been startled by a rabbit. And another woman ran after it, but they couldn't catch it. They also failed to catch another rabbit they had chased. That same night, she dreamt she was in a field with these two rabbits, and they jumped into her lap, and she awakened in a sick fit, which lasted till morning. And from that time, for above 3 months, she had a constant and strong desire to eat rabbits, but being very poor and indigent, she couldn't procure any. So, in her mind, her brain had been traumatized by an event and began to produce mostly rabbits. St. Andre takes this and he runs with it, okay? He now writes... Oh, do you have a comment?
No, I was just going to say I believe in a lot of things, but...
I thought about this episode. I said to myself before I even recorded with you, this is going to be the first one that Kara is, like, out right away. You know who believes, though? St. Andre. So he writes, this is the title of his new pamphlet, A Short Narrative of an Extraordinary Delivery of Rabbits. In this, he writes about maternal impression, which, according to medical theory, was a phenomenon that explained the existence of birth defects and congenital disorders. The theory is that an emotional stimulus experienced by a pregnant woman, such as Mary's dreams and her desire for rabbit meat, could influence the development of the fetus. Also, mental problems such as depression and schizophrenia were believed to be a manifestation of similar feelings for the mother. So, for instance, a woman who experienced great sadness while pregnant might imprint depressive tendencies onto the fetus. So it's just like imprinting. So she just thought too much about rabbits.
Okay. It's like a tulpa. But, okay. Here's the thing. I think our minds can do way more than we've even tapped into. And I know we've talked about this a lot. I also think that trauma, things that we've gone through, with the fact that our minds can do so much, that's a whole other realm of holy shitness, if you will. But I don't think that if I just start dreaming about birthing wiener dogs, I'm just
you'd have to be traumatized by one first. It has to be a big emotional response.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't think if I just have a big emotional response, I'm just going to start birthing wiener dogs. I really hope so. Live ones. But I just don't think that that is going to happen. And also, that doesn't account for the fact that she's also birthing cat parts and boar bladders or whatever the fuck it was.
You're not the only one who's fed up with this, because the king, curious King George, is also a little bit fed up.
He's like, no, I'm not curious anymore.
Well,
I'm just fucking...
He needs to know if this is real or a hoax.
Yeah.
And he orders St. Andre to travel back to Guildford, collect Mary Toft, and bring her to London now.
Hell
so
yeah.
November 29th, she's brought to London to a bathhouse of all places.
Hold on. Can I also just I just have to put this in here. I feel very strongly about this, and I feel very bad for this woman that she's being treated as a freak show and just passed around and just like whatever. However, I have a sense that her and whatever his name is are in on this, and they're doing this for some coin. So if that's the case, get your coin, girl, however you want. But if that's not the case, then I feel awful, and it's disgusting that we're just passing this woman around and letting people observe her give quote unquote birth.
Hold on to those thoughts.
But yes, hello, take her to the kingdom. So
they do, but they take her to a bathhouse.
Off with her head.
She's going to be observed more closely, and over 10 doctors and a large crowd gather. And these investigations are led by a doctor named John Douglas. So between November 29th and December 3rd, there's a lot of differences in opinion that came up between the medical men who were fighting over whether it's real or not who were observing her. Because, you see, Mary was still going into labor, but she was not producing rabbits or anything else. However, it also became quite clear that this might be because she had a bad infection that was now causing her
Lord.
fits, and she was going in and out of consciousness.
Yeah, probably because they were shoving animal parts up her vagina.
So it is on this night of December 3rd that the truth comes out, because a porter is caught trying to sneak dead rabbits into the bathhouse. So you've been right.
I was
all
right.
along.
I can't even believe it.
She has been, yeah, okay. So remember John Hervey, the political writer we mentioned earlier who was talking about her?
Mm-hmm.
He writes some more. He goes, "What Mary Toft felt, women's voices, pain, power in the body," is the name of his article. And he writes, "She gave birth to no more rabbits, and also seems to have taken quite ill. But it was during this time that a porter was caught sneaking a rabbit into Toft's room. He explained to Douglas, the doctor in charge, that Toft's sister-in-law, Margaret Toft, had asked him to obtain the smallest rabbit he could find. Toft refused to confess until Manningham, another one of the doctors, threatened to perform surgery to determine if she had strange reproductive organs. On December 7th, she came clean, and the confession surprised very few.
I'm surprised nobody before that point had wanted to do surgery.
But was unfortunately timed for St. Andre, who had just published his thrilling true life expose, a short narrative of extraordinary delivery of rabbits, just days prior.
Oh, God.
Needless to say, his career was never quite the same. So, with that, Mary does confess to the hoax.
Okay.
Her husband, you had asked about him earlier.
Yeah.
He had been in on it for some time. You asked what he was doing. He was making multiple trips to the butcher to get rabbits and other parts. And she had been inserting the parts inside herself to make money off of the sensation.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. That's not even the weirdest part about this story. The weirdest part is, where the fuck did we come up with this idea? And how did we rope in husband, sister-in-law, and then that one doctor, I would assume?
John Howard, the man-midwife, and St. Andre.
What about the regular midwife, the first one?
That was the mother-in-law.
Or did she do?
The mother-in-law, the sister-in-law, everyone's kind of in on it.
Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, husband. Who actually came up with this, and how and why did we come up with it?
And that's very contested, so we'll come back to that in a minute.
Okay.
December 8th, Mary makes a final admission, and on December 9th, just before being sent to Tothill Fields Bridewell, which is a prison, she is charged on a statute of King Edward III as a vile cheat and imposter.
A vile cheat.
During her confessions, she had blamed the entire affair on a range of other participants. She blamed her mother-in-law. She blamed John Howard. She claimed that a traveling woman told her how to insert rabbits into her body and how such a scheme would ensure that she would never want as long as she lived.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot, every different article I came across kind of showed that somebody else had a hand in who convinced her to do this or whatnot. But I did find one that was very strongly worded of, there's a lot of evidence that shows she was not literate. She was not a very smart human being, and that she had been manipulated by the people around her to, she almost died. I mean, she got very ill.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's definitely some fault on Mary's part for sure, but I think she was easily manipulated by the people around.
I was going to say, because...
And once the money started coming in, when royal doctors are like, oh, this is real.
I still just want to know where this thought came from.
The best we have in that confession is that a traveling woman, but I don't know, man.
No, because why would a traveling woman just do that and then not want to take any...
I think this is the husband. This sounds like husband work to me.
No, I understand. I'm not asking like where it came from as far as like who put this into her brain. I'm asking, how the fuck did we come up with this concept? Because that's the most disturbing part. Here's what I want you to do, wife, sister-in-law, mother-in-law,
we
whoever.
just lost a child.
I want you to start shoving animals up your vagina. We're going to pretend like you're giving birth to them, and then we're going to essentially go viral for it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So after, so she's sentenced to 4 months in prison, which was total British style, where she had a public-facing cell so people could come gawk at her all day and make fun of her.
That's terrible.
She is fined at the time 800 British pounds. Do you want to take a stab?
Nope, I do not. I want you to tell me.
It's 150,000 pounds in today's money.
Okay.
In American money, it would be $202,000.
So I don't like when stories like this talk about how they were illiterate and things like that, because that doesn't necessarily make you dumb. Now, like you said, you maybe were thinking that she's maybe easily manipulated, because it does sound like...
So she was an indentured servant who had no formal schooling and was illiterate. She was not... She didn't have an opportunity to be bright. Her husband was more educated, and he was a clothier.
But I feel like being educated doesn't necessarily make you smart.
True. Very true.
Okay. And that's where I mean by that.
You have to wonder if she was coerced.
Well, hold on, let me finish, because what I was going to say is if you have a son, sister, and mother against her, I do think that it was probably 3 against 1 and not 1 against 3 convincing. Yeah. So the triangle, if you will, that makes more sense. But I don't necessarily think I don't want to say it's because this woman was dumb. I think it's just that you're probably, number one, depressed. You've gone through a miscarriage. Your life is
terrible.
Probably,
it was terrible. She was an indentured servant. It was horrible.
You've got a lot of just like really negative things. And then if you have 3 individuals that are essentially your brought on family telling you, hey, let's do this because it's going to be good for A, B, and C. You try it, it spirals. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Stuff like that happens now, not to this extent. But like really weird, messed up things happen as far as like either it's like murder, kidnapping, like just weird things. Cause like, oh yeah, so-and-so convinced me because this and this. Like, it's not hard to believe that aspect. I just want to know where they came up with this concept.
We don't know, but I have more for you. We're not done.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say it obviously stemmed from her having miscarriages. And then her having the aftermath of those miscarriages, I think that's planted something in one of their little brains.
So Hervey, the political writer, he continues on the story. Though the rabbits' births weren't real, the pain was. According to Toft's confessions, the ruse relied on an accomplice placing parts of dead animals into Toft's vagina. Painful, difficult, and dangerous. Per St. Andre's early reports, Toft's rabbits were often delivered with their sharp nails intact.
Oh.
Because these animal remains were likely hidden in Toft's body for up to several weeks, it's astonishing that she didn't die of an infection. So the question this leaves me with is, and I think for you too, is why?
Weeks?
Hervey, he also writes again to explain why.
Oh, hell no. I thought we were just...
She was a young, extremely poor woman from a small town who was taken to London, all the time escorted and watched by titled, landed, aristocratic men. I think she was just playing the lead role in a performance orchestrated by other people. In her confession, she reportedly blamed her husband, her mother-in-law, and even the wife of a local organ grinder. When this all comes out, the press has a field day. Any doctor who backed her up was torn to pieces. Their reputations forever tarnished. Mary was dragged as well. She does go on to live a fairly normal life after this. Little is known of what comes of her after this tale. But we do know she was burned twice by the bishop. Or not the bishop, the parish. And the parish, like the church, they would write in the news about like big life events of people.
Mm-hmm.
So she does, I do not know how, and I'm not trying to be rude, how she wasn't maimed after this.
Like ostracized?
No, like bodily maimed. Like, she does give birth to another real human child.
Oh,
the public record, the parish noted, first child after her pretended rabbit breeding.
That's just facts.
She does die at the age of 60 in 1763.
Oh, that's pretty old, isn't it then?
I would say for the 1700s. And the parish noted her as Mary Toft, widow / the impostress rabbit. And that, Kara, is the story of Mary Toft who gave birth to rabbits. And also the reason why I will never be able to use the phrase rabbit hole again without thinking of Miss Mary Toft.
So I'm really, really, really thinking about shoving rabbits up my vagina right now, and for a week.
Claws and all, man.
And then I don't know how I would... I'm trying to think of the logistics.
If you have to give her anything, damn, she must have been a good actress.
I think I could pretend to give birth. But the fact that I've got, I don't know, like, because you're not actually having contractions. So that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, it
And also, like, so this started in September. So from September to November.
Who was shoving these rabbits up there? She's not shoving rabbits up there herself.
I think it was her husband.
They had to have like forceps and then just like shoving it up there.
Oh, man.
Weeks, though. I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting that part.
I mean, I don't think that they were inside her for weeks. I think that is meant that she was doing this for weeks, from mid-September
I thought you meant that
to middle of November. So first,
I thought you meant that they were up there.
No,
for a
she
week.
just for several weeks was hiding them in her.
Okay, that makes me feel so much better because I thought she was just shoving rabbits up there and they were sitting for weeks. Oh my God. No. Thank you for clarifying.
I don't know how that makes you feel better. That just means for weeks she was putting more and more rabbits inside of her.
That's fine. I would rather do that than have it sit up there for a week.
Oh, yeah, no. Once it starts to decompose, I feel she'd be dead. She'd be dead.
That's what I'm saying. I was like so baffled.
Anyways, for this week's story, we would love an emoji of a rabbit.
A rabbit and a hole. There is a hole.
Oh, my God.
I want a rabbit and a hole.
And the worst part is she didn't actually keep any of that money because for what she was fined, man. Woo.
Well, she didn't keep that money anyway. Her husband took that shit.
Oh, my God. I think that has to be one of the most, like, oddity-based oddity shop episodes we've ever had. But, yeah, that I have no more words. I'm sorry.
I mean, the warning you gave me was, like, this is disgusting. And I'm not disgusted. I'm just like, it's just crazy to me.
It's wild that she was able to pull the wool over so many, like, well-to-do doctors' eyes.
Is it, though, in the 1700s?
Here's what I think. I think at first she convinced... John Howard, I don't think she ever convinced. He just saw the money. St. Andre and the others, I think they were convinced at first. And then once they had already been too deep into it, they're like, oh, well, my reputation's at stake now. We have to make other people believe it.
Perhaps,
but then, the truth came out and the rabbit smuggler got caught.
What? A rabbit snatcher.
Oh, no.
Snatch.
Okay, we have to end this. All right, so I'm afraid to even ask for write-ins right now. It does not have to be dead animal parts and holes related.
Listen, if any of your relatives have shoved animal parts up their vagina or anything, let me know.
This is how we get canceled. What's the weirdest thing Grandma's put inside herself? Tell us.
Tell me what Grandma puts in her bag. We have to
go. Let's close the shop down. What do the people need to do, Kara?
You did this. Well, first, let me know if you've ever heard of this story. Or if you have other stories as crazy as this. Not maybe your stories, but that you've heard. Because this is a good one. And I want to deep dive on others that are like this. So leave a bunny in a hole. And that's about it. Most important thing you can do for us is to creep a really little oddballs.
Goodbye.
Bye.